One of the most sensational finds of recent years has been a piece of ochre, well, two pieces really, with a very complex pattern engraved on them. This was found in a cave on the southern coast of South Africa, so right at the end of Africa. And it's dated to 70-odd thousand years ago. And it means that the people of that time must have been indulging in some sort of symbolism, because the pattern is repeated. It's on two pieces of stone, crosses with a border around them and a line through the middle of the crosses. Now that means they had some sort of abstract thinking, some sort of symbolism. And although we don't know whether they had a religion, as we would call it at that time, at least we know that they had the type of thinking that could give rise to a religion at that early period. Personally, my hunch is that they did believe in a supernatural realm, and then that would mean a religion in my definition of it. So that's the importance of it. It goes right back to the beginning of fully modern human beings, Homo sapiens sapiens. Right from the beginning, they had abstract thinking and very probably religion. If those early people entertained ideas about a supernatural realm with beings in it that they could contact, might influence their hunting or their afterlife, that kind of thing, that is created by, it must be created by the functioning of the human brain, the electrochemical things that go on inside our heads when we're thinking about things. And they give rise to certain feelings and sensations that people interpret as being something supernatural around them. Even dreams make people think there's something supernatural. So those early people had it, and we have it still today. And we can interpret what we feel under those circumstances either as some supernatural influence on us, a supernatural being close to us perhaps, or we can say, well, those are our synapses in the brain that are creating this feeling, because we know that now to be the case. So we've got a choice as to believe in a supernatural realm or to believe that the illusion of a supernatural realm is created by the human brain. So we've got the choice. They probably didn't have that choice. One of the sensations that is often interpreted as the presence of a deity is what we call absolute unitary being. And that's the sort of thing that Wordsworth would have spoken about. He never felt a calm so deep, and everything falls away and he is at one with the universe. And it is created by the serotonin and neurotransmitters in the brain that give an oceanic feeling, and parts of the brain connect up that would not otherwise be connected. So it actually has a physiological basis. I think that we today are very strong on saying what is the evolutionary value of this or that or the other. And if people have believed in gods for thousands and thousands of years, which we know they have, we then say surely it must have had some evolutionary advantage. Now, whether it did right at the beginning or not, I don't know. I just don't know. But I doubt that today it has any evolutionary benefit to anybody to believe something that is in fact not true. One of the evolutionary advantages that people often put forward for religion is that it creates a bonding and makes people unite, and so they would unite against nature and have an evolutionary advantage like that. But I'm inclined to think that that is a post hoc explanation. It's looking back on the thing, whereas we know that religion doesn't do that only. If religion binds a certain group of people together, that sounds wonderful, but then you realize it must be vis-a-vis other groups of people. So in fact the religion is divisive, not unifying. So that is why religions compete with one another and try to proselytize one another. So religion overall is not a unitary thing. It doesn't create the cohesion. And then within a religion, it doesn't do it either. Because once you start believing in supernatural realms, you begin to think that some people have more contact with that realm, a direct line to God, than other people do. So it creates a hierarchy, which is a form of division. So the idea that religion is holding everybody together is open to question. There's another side to that coin. It is creating division after division after division. I think that religion and politics must be closely related to one another. Politics is all about power. Who has control of whom? And religion is the same thing. Who has control of the Roman Catholic Church? Who has control of Buddhists and so forth? And inevitably, politics is going to be there. And we can see it in the way in which leaders, even today, reach out to religion by favoring the establishment of faith-based schools in the United Kingdom. And one could argue, of course, that a faith-based school is an oxymoron. It's a contradiction in terms. Because if it's faith-based, it can't be evidence-based, and it can't be scientific, it can't be rational. So what you're doing is saying we want to establish irrational schools, faith-based schools. And religion is then immediately deeply embedded in political rivalries. That's a question, whether religion is linked to cruelty or not is a question one would like to say, well, no, it's religion gone wrong that is linked to cruelty or to oppression. But now, how do we know what is religion gone right? Who is going to make that distinction? It's probably going to be people outside of religion who are going to say, this one is beneficial, that one is throwing bombs and is therefore dangerous, therefore it is not true religion. But who is to say that? And once you get the feeling that you are God's emissary on earth, and that, as St. Augustine said, there's no salvation outside the church, now what are we going to make of that in today's multicultural world? And the cruelty that goes with it is something I think that is deeply disturbing to many religious people as well. And I think many religious people don't know what to make of the history of the Christian church. And what you read is generally a sanitized version of endless religious wars, burnings, torturing, and even if you're not doing physical violence to people, what about excluding them in such a way that they can no longer function economically in that society? So at the best you can say religion is a two-sided coin.